Hey everybody, it's me Stacey here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com, and welcome to today's Saturday with Stacey YouTube class number 583, counting down to 600 Saturday with Stacey YouTube classes. Holy smokes, artichokes. Now, if this is your first time joining, hey, I'm Stacey. I'm the owner of a small independent mom and pop scrapbooking and card making shop, paper crafting shop here in Canyon Country, California. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you. And you tuned in on a great day, I have brand new product from Creative Expressions, 3D embossing folders that are beyond stunning, really beyond stunning. And then they did coordinating 2-layer stencils for each of them. And then at my suggestion, we added some stamps to finish everything off. So it is going to be a jam-packed class today. I'm going to use, there's 4 different sets, and I'm going to be using something from each of those sets so you can see it all. And we're going to start pretty simple and get progressively more and more techniquey so that when we get to the end, the final embossing folder that I'm going to use is going to have all the bells and all the whistles on it. But you will have seen what you can do all the way up to doing absolutely everything. So I'm excited to share and to show with you today. I've got winter chicken dinner to talk about. I'm gonna do that. And then I'm going to show you the actual bundles, the product, because there's only one I Want It All bundle. There's only one. That's it, one. And then all the other product is open stock, but I want to show you how the sets are put together. And we did that because, well, maybe some of you just love the embossing folders, or maybe some of you just love the stamps, or maybe you want the stencil. So one I Want It All bundle, but then everything else is available to you on sale. Where you just pick and choose what you love the most. So let's talk winter chicken dinner before I get there. And winter chicken dinner is something we do every Saturday, and we give away 2 gift cards to Scrapbooking Made Simple. And the gift cards, the value is all determined by how many likes we get for each video. So the YouTube gods like likes. They like that you like the video. And they like watch time too. So those are things that they look at and they say, oh yay, she's got lots of likes. That's good. And oh yay, people are watching her a lot. That's good. And they push my videos forward. So the more likes we get, the higher the gift card is. And we've been at $100 for a while. Maybe in January, maybe once everybody's back from holidays and all of that, then we'll hit the 1,250 like mark, and then we'll raise the dollar value to $125. But for now, this is nothing to sneeze at. This is $100 worth of yummies that you can buy, and with the warehouse sale going on, you could take that $100 and change it into $1,000 easy peasy, because every Monday we announce new vendors for the warehouse sale that is going on right now. The winter warehouse sale here at Scrapbooking Made Simple is where we offer you products at up to 90% off. I'm not kidding. Really. You want to go take a look, because this is the way we give back to our community by keeping crafting affordable. We sell $20 dies for $1, literally. Now mind you, they're not dies that were released last week, okay? But still, $1. Yep, we sure do. So every Monday through December, I will be announcing more manufacturers, and we add more product to the sale every single Monday during our Make It Monday event right here on our YouTube channel at 6 p.m. sunny California time, 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern. Now, I'm not sure how I digressed into that, because I was supposed to tell you the winter chicken dinner, but somehow I took a left turn. So I'm going to try and circle back to what it is I started doing. So we have 2 winter chicken dinners, and the way these ladies won was that they posted a comment below. They liked the video, and then they posted a comment below. Live chat comments do not count. It has to be a comment below. and most often you will see your comment come up right away. We have changed our settings so that we are filtering that most comments are posted immediately, and those that are questionable get kind of hung back and we review them before we agree to submit them. And most of it's spam that you didn't want to see anyway. So our first winner who liked the video last week and posted a comment, and I know this person. I know Denise O'Hara. Hello, Denise. How you doing, girl? Hey, girl, hey. Congratulations, Denise. I'm so excited for you. You have $100. Go get Steve. It's her husband. Go get Steve. Say you're a winner. Make him do the chicken dinner dance with us. Congratulations, Denise. I'm so happy for you. Our next winner is Camille. Camille Suggs. Hello, Camille. Congratulations. You also are a winner chicken dinner of $100. Now, I don't know if Camille is married, not married, I don't know. So I can't say go get your spouse, go get a friend, go get your fur baby, because we got to do the winner chicken dinner dance, and well, we should all be doing it together. So I'm very happy for you, Camille. I hope you take this $100 and you parlay it into something that will make your heart happy. I know Denise will. I don't have to worry about her. I know she's going to find something that's going to make her heart happy. But Camille, I hope the same for you. Now, we do have to do the winner chicken dinner dance. It is what we do here at Scrapbooking Made Simple. And as hokey as it is, I've been doing it forever, and I'm not giving it up because it's part of who I am. And if you were ever here at SMS, we were playing Christmas carols in the store. And I know the words to every Christmas carol. I truly do. I know the words, I mean, like the Hallelujah Choir, I know all the words to it. And once that starts going, I'm going with it. So the winner chicken dinner dance is just an extension of the fact that I just like to sing and move and groove. Who I am. So, are you ready? You're a winner. Chicken dinner. You're a winner. Chicken dinner. Wahoo. Ka-choo. For you. I hope you enjoy your winnings. $100, ladies. Go have a great time. And by gosh, if we ever put on Disney music, hello. We ever put on Disney music, I'm a goner because I pretty much know every word to every song from almost every Disney movie that I've ever seen. I'm weird that way. So I think that's my dyslexia. That's where I have dyslexia, because I'm severely dyslexic. My superpower is if you put it to music, I will never forget it. I have like this photographic memory for lyrics and music. I can't spell the word lyric properly. So anyway, it's me, Stacey, and this is Scrapbooking Made Simple. Welcome to our Saturday with Stacey classes. I hope you are live chatting with us because we have so much fun every Saturday. All right, you guys, I am going to tilt on down. I'm going to show you a couple samples, and then we're going to get started for today. Again, I'm going to show you the different sets. So, and then we're going to work with each one of the sets in some way, shape, or form so that you get to see all of them. Are we ready to tilt on down? I agree. Let's get started. It's good to see everybody. Yep. I think that's my superpower, is that if you put something to music, I will never, ever, ever forget it. If they had put things to music when I was in school, oh, I would have been a straight A student. All right, here we go. Look at how pretty is this. Look at that embossing folder, right? So it's a 3D embossing folder with coordinating stencil and stamps. Now, each item is sold separately, which gives you kind of an a la carte menu. You get to decide what you need to have in your... Oh, I smudged this one. Oh, Stacey. And I don't think there's a darn thing I can do about it. I smudged it. My thank you got smudged. Look at how pretty is that. Now, what you might not have realized is that these are exactly the same. This is the positive side. This is the negative side. And we're gonna play with both. So, 4 sets from Creative Expressions. Originally, they had done just the embossing folder and the stencil, but we had a conversation about that. So the first set is our Ribbon Blooms, and it is a beautiful 3D embossing folder. It has a beautiful 2-layer stencil, so not difficult to do. But when I was shown these, and I was shown these in like line drawing status, which is before they ever get, this was just to say, do you like them, Stacey? And then they start working on them. And I'm like, well, what are we gonna do with all this empty space in the middle? You know, do you have sentiments? And they're like, no, we don't have sentiments. I'm like, why don't you have sentiments that fit the empty space? We need the sentiments to go with. And so for each set, they went back and made a set of sentiments that works with that 3D embossing folder and stencils. So this is Ribbon Bloom Sentiments, this is Ribbon Bloom's embossing folder, and this is Ribbon Bloom's stencil, layering stencil. Now, I don't have them being packaged like this. We don't have this kind of a set. We have an I Want It All that has all 4 sets, but if you want all 3 of them, you do have to go in and buy all 3 of them individually. That's because we have more embossing folders than we do anything else. The stencils and the stamps are much more limited than the embossing folders. So I wanted to leave it open so that you could decide what you wanted. Maybe you just want the embossing folder and the sentiment, or maybe you like the stencil. Of course, you're not going to get that detail without the embossing folder, but maybe you want the stencil and the sentiment, or maybe you just want the sentiment. So this is Ribbon Blooms, and these are the 3 that go with it. The next set is Floral Symphony. And again, it's absolutely beautiful. The embossing folder is gorgeous. And being that it leaves that negative space there for you to put a sentiment, it's perfect. So here is what it looks like. The embossing folder looks like when you have stenciled it. It is so lovely. And then we added the sentiments that fit. Now the sentiments don't say exactly the same thing. Here you've got happy anniversary, here you've got happy birthday. Can you mix and match between the sets? I do think you can mix and match between the sets, the sentiments between each of the 4 sets. I think you would be able to use any of these in any of the 4 sets. But this is the Floral Symphony stamp, the Floral Symphony stencil, the Floral Symphony embossing folder. Now, if you get the I Want It All bundle, you'll get all 4 sets. So you'll have all 12 items. But if you want these 3, you've got to go through and just order them individually. Then we have Petal Cascade. So Petal Cascade is stunning. Absolutely beautiful. And then we have the Petal Cascade 2-layer stencil. And then we have the Petal Cascade sentiment. And again, the words are different. You may have thank you on 2 of these. You may have a get well someplace else. I think they did really try to keep them separate so that you didn't have, so you have a thank you here, but a thanks over there. They really did try to give you all different words. You might just want all 4 of the stamp sets. I know the honorary SMS girls who worked on these sets. They want all 4 of the stamp sets, hands down, just for everyday use because the font is beautiful and the size is beautiful. So this is Petal Cascade and the 3 SKUs that makes it up. And then last, I have Blossom Wreath. So Blossom Wreath. Again, simply beautiful. The embossing folder, the stencil, and the sentiments. So these say, you've got just because, bride and groom, great friend, just a note, thanks, and then a couple little scrollies to go with it. A couple little doodads that match the doodads here to go with it. And it is just a lovely set. So if you were doing the I Want It All, you'd get all of the Blossom Wreath. You would get all of the Petal Cascade. And the Petal Cascade has got Get Well Soon, Love, Thank You, My Love, and then it's got some hearts and some little fronds there. You would get Floral Symphony with Happy Anniversary, Hello Beautiful, Hello, Thinking of You, and you would get Ribbon Blooms with Congratulations, Love, Happy Birthday, Hello Friend. So the I Want It All bundle has all of it. And there's no individual bundles of 3. All right, so I'm going to start super easy. And I think that's probably the best place to start, is super easy. And I'm going to pull out my Ribbon Blooms stencil. No, my embossing folder. And we are just going to emboss with it. Now it has, while it's not indexed everywhere here, it does have an index. And what that means is they've printed on it. And by printing on it, that tells you this is the top. This is where you want to see your paper. If you're using paper, printed paper, you want to see that coming through, because this is the top. This is the top of the embossing folder, the front of the embossing folder. This would be the back side of the embossing folder, and a little bit later on we're going to be using the back side of the embossing folder. But for now, this tells you this is what goes in face up, and you want to see the paper that you want to see on your finished project coming through here. So I'm going to do this with just some reveals paper, and maybe some pretty pink. I'm going to do this with just some reveals paper. And let's see what we get. So, reveals paper is paper by Sizzix, and this is A4 in size, because this embossing folder is I believe it's a 5x7 is what it is. Let's make sure that it is, yes, 5x7. So I'm going to take my reveals and I'm just going to cut it in half. Now what makes reveals paper so special is that you can tear it or sand it to a lighter color. The inside is not white. The inside sands to a lighter color of the top, which is really just absolutely beautiful. So whether I sand it or tear it, it doesn't tear to white. Really, really nice. And the only company that makes it is Sizzix, and they have the original reveals, which is the one I launched, and then they came back and did a spiced color, so warmer tones. I'm going to go ahead and put my paper inside my embossing folder. Okay, I think I'm going to be okay with width. And I'm going to bring over my Sizzix Big Shot machine, because that's the machine that we're going to be using today. It's the machine of choice here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, just because it's such a workhorse. Now this is a 3D embossing folder. It's not 2D, which means the depth that you're going to get from the embossing is substantially deeper, bigger, bolder, brighter. It's just, it pops off the page. Now to do this, everybody's embossing folders are slightly different. There is no standardized thickness for embossing folders in our industry. So you may get your Sizzix Big Shot machine out and you may say 3D embossing folders. Right here, 3D embossing folders, where it says the base plate, your embossing folder, and then a top plate, a cut plate. And that's how you're supposed to send it through. But remember, everything on here is talking about Sizzix products, not everybody else's. Now, if we're doing wafer style dies, those are pretty standardized. Dies are pretty standardized in thickness, but embossing folders dramatically different. So if I do it the way Sizzix says for a 3D embossing folder, and I do my base plate, and I do my embossing folder, and I always go chomp, chomp, chomp in. So I put the opening side in first. Honestly, there's no right and there's no wrong. Some people say do it this way because it takes less pressure, or it takes the pressure off. On it really doesn't. There's no right and there's no wrong to put your embossing folder through. It is a molded piece of plastic and it's going to hold up beautifully. Now, I always do chomp, chomp, chomp just because it seems to feed in easier for me than the other way. Now, if I do exactly as they say on my Sizzix platform, base plate, paper, top plate, and you can use whatever you want because it's not cutting, so it doesn't matter if it, let me scooch this down just a little bit. There we go. And let me just send it on through. Now, let me back up a hair just so you can see. Okay, this roll is way too easy. Way too loose. Loosey-goosey. In fact, I can almost push this right through. There is nothing happening here. But I did it the way it says on the Sizzix platform. Yes, for a Sizzix 3D embossing folder. But this is a Creative Expressions and it's not the same thickness. And that's where you're going to need to experiment just a little bit with your shims. And so for a Creative Expressions embossing folder, I have found that if you use your base plate, your solo shim, as if you were cutting a wafer style die, and then your embossing folder, chomp, 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 just like when you were a kid and you had lesser than and greater than, chomp, 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 and you send it on through. This is going to change the pressure so that this folder now hits the roller that's in the machine. There's a roller in here which needs to push down to make that embossing. So now if I send it through, oh yeah, that's way tighter. I can tell that it's doing something. And then, do I want to bring it back? Do I need to bring it back? Up to you if you want to bring it back. Now I know something has happened. And I can clearly see something has happened. Look at how beautiful is this, right? Let's do the other color. Let's do them both. Bring it back. Remember that if I follow the directions here, this is not a Sizzix embossing folder, and I send it down through and it doesn't do anything, you're gonna be like, oh, wait a minute, something's wrong. Yes, something's wrong. The only thing you need to do is find what's going to raise the height of your sandwich high enough to hit that roller. And for Creative Expressions, it's just putting back in that solo shim that we use all the time. Now you could, if you wanted to, you could use, instead of your base shim and your solo shim, you could use your magnetic platform. This isn't magnetic, so it doesn't make any difference. It just means that you don't need to add this because the magnetic platform by Sizzix is actually this thickness with magnets in it. So you have a choice there if you have both. Put it on and send it on through. Now, I think what most people don't necessarily know is the way the Sizzix machine is built is that there is like a little hand grip right here underneath. If you just slide your hand underneath the machine, you have your palm here to act as a push forward, and your fingers just fit right under there. Just right under there, gives you a little hand hold, and I use that all the time, and it just lets my palm kind of help guide it in. And once it starts to roll, I put my hand at the top and continue on. Do I want to come back? See, and then I put it here and I can just guide it right out. A lot of people don't know that. I don't know that it was built that way, but there is a little handhold right there. And here is my second. Now these are absolutely gorgeous, and the way you can tell a good 3D embossing folder is if it will cast, the design casts its own shadow on itself. If it casts a shadow, that means that the definition is raised high enough to make a shadow. Kind of the way it works. So put these over here, and now the thing about this paper again is it's sandable. Totally sandable. So grab my sanding block, and this is a Sizzix sanding block. There's 2 in this pack. You want to get the right sanding block. Just get the Sizzix sanding blocks. It's just easier. We went through, and I helped develop these. We went through to find the right grit for paper, whether it be reveals or double-sided paper. You don't want to just run out to the garage and grab any sandpaper or maybe a nail file that you have, because paper requires a certain grit. If it's too much, you're going to sand through your paper and create a hole. And if the grit isn't enough, you're going to sit there and go again. You're just going to go over it and go over it, and nothing's going to happen. It's like 600 grit sandpaper is really for like buffing. It just puts a buff on something, and I don't know, do they make a 50 grit sandpaper would be as rough and as coarse as could be. So I'm just going to use the right tool for the right project, and they're not expensive, and they do what they're supposed to do without causing harm to what you just created. And I can go in there. It's got sandpaper on 4 sides. It's easy to hold. And I can go in there and start to sand, so the detail of the embossing folder starts to come up. I want to see that detail start to come up, and by taking off the top layer of paper, they're doing some construction. I don't know if you guys can hear that. They're doing some construction work. So there it is with the sanding. And now you can see the detail versus not sanded. Now sometimes you feel like a nut and sometimes you don't. So maybe sometimes you want to sand it to bring that detail up. And it's not white, it's a lighter shade of that pink. And here, not sanded. So do we want to see that sanded? Come in here. and just start to hit the detail. And look at the difference. What you can see versus just the embossing. These folders are so beautiful. And I'm not even using the coordinating stencil to go with it. I just want all of that detail, all of those little vines and flourishes to come up. Almost like you've inked it, but you haven't. You just sanded using Reveal's paper. So Reveal's paper isn't manufactured by anybody else but Sizzix. Wipe off all the extra, just all the extra paper that's coming off. And I've got a beautiful image. And I didn't damage my paper, which is super important. I didn't damage the paper at all. Now I could take this and grab my stamp or my stencil and my stamp tool. This is also by Sizzix, and right now I'm going to use it as a stamping tool, so I'm not going to need my adapter, my stencil adapter. And let's see, these are the sentiments that come with it, or that go with it, the ribbon blooms. These are the coordinating ribbon blooms. And they're done in a photopolymer. They're thick and they're just luscious. They're beautiful stamps. And let's take and put this here. Now this is a stamp, this is a stencil tool first and then a stamp positioner second, but it does both. So I've got a piece of sticky grid down, and sticky grid allows for my paper to stay in one place without harming the paper. And when I need to pull it up, I just pull it up. It's like the biggest, best, strongest Post-it note you've ever had without it causing any damage. Now I can put my happy birthday right in there. Do I want hello friend? Maybe hello friend? Oh, that's pretty too. That looks really lovely too. They all look so good. I don't want to lose my happy birthday because I might use that one. So I've got hello friend. Press down, pull up. Now as long as I don't move my paper, my stamp is going to be great right there. And what color ink do I want? Do I want black? Do I want, yeah, maybe just black. We'll see what it looks like in black. And I'm going to ink up. And give a press. Now these stamps are brand new. I haven't conditioned them in any way. Oh, but that, look at that, came out so good. Stamp one more time. And I'm just using a Jacquard color pad black ink. Perfect. That looks great. Get the baby wipe. I can clean off my stamp. Pull my paper up. And maybe we do this one this way. So same embossing folder. This one, maybe I use the happy birthday. Same embossing folder, just changing the orientation. And this one I changed to happy birthday. And a press. And a press. Beautiful. Pull my stamp. Wipe it down. Pull up my embossing folder or my paper, and I'm good to go. Now all I have to do is trim it down to what I want it to be. So I'm just going to get rid of all the extra paper. So pretty, right? And I orientated it in both ways for you using the Sizzix Reveals. Okay, now we mat it, and it's done. Actually, I think I like it on that orange. And maybe the pink on a darker pink. Not quite the right shade of pink. Oh, but it's pretty on the lighter shade. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do these real quick. Some Stacey tape. And then we're going to move on. One. You would do better with tape than me. I'm just trying to get it on there. Pull up my Stacey tape. And you may use a trimmer. I'm just freehanding it. There's one. And two. And we've got the beginnings of just simple, easy, done. Whether you do them in the vertical or the horizontal. This one looks beautiful in both. And this was the ribbon blooms set. So the ribbon blooms set, and we didn't even use the stencil. Next, I'm going to grab the Floral Symphony. And I'm going to start with the embossing folder, and this time we're going to play with opulent paper. So this time I'm going to play with opulent paper, and opulent paper is also by Sizzix, and I haven't played with the charcoal in quite some time, so I pulled out the charcoal opulent paper. Opulent paper has, it's 5 different specialty papers, 5 different finishes. You get 10 sheets of each. So a mirror and a pearl and a brushed metal and a matte and a glitter, and the glitter doesn't come off, and it really is so lovely. Really, it's so lovely. I think I'm going to do it in this and in this. So I'm going to do in 2 of the charcoal colors. I'm going to emboss. So I just cut my paper in half. It's a little bigger than I need it to be, but that's okay. And I think I'll start with the darker gray in that pearl finish. Look at how beautiful that is. So I'm going to put it right in, and I'm just going to do a wash, rinse, and repeat. Now, I don't see any of the writing on here. So that means I've got it upside down. I want it this way. I always want that writing to be face up towards me. You may end up using the deboss side, but just to get into a habit of always, if they've given you a way to index, some manufacturers will print the entire image of the embossing folder right on the front. Some will put their name. They'll have their name here. Some will have writing up here. It's up to you, but if you see that, that's always going to be that top. Now let's bring over my Big Shot machine. In fact, I can put that in there. And I have to use a different sandwich than what they say here on the machine, because this is for Sizzix 3D embossing folders. And embossing folders, there is no standardized thickness in the industry, so you kind of have to play. You got to get out your shims. Sometimes you might need a piece of copy paper. You might need a thud pad. You never know what's going to make an embossing folder go through, because all you're trying to do is get the entire sandwich to the height where it hits the roller that's inside the machine. I put my little hand, see, I've got my hand under there, and I just push it forward. And once it starts rolling, I move my hand to the top. And done. And out. Now look at that. Is that absolutely gorgeous? Look at the depth of that embossing. It is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, let's put this aside. And now I have this matte paper, and it's single-sided. So far, everything we've been using has been the same front and back, so it didn't matter how you put it in because the paper was the same both sides. Here we have a matte finish on top and white underneath. So it's going to be very important that we put the paper in the right way. Let's just say I'm just crafting right along and I'm not paying attention. I'm watching TV or I'm listening, more than likely I'm listening to some music, and Mr. SMS asks me a question and I get distracted and I put my paper in upside down. See, because here's my writing. And you always want the side of the paper that you want to see on your finished project facing you. But let's just say he was asking me what I wanted for dinner, and I'm like, ooh, dinner. Okay, as long as I don't have to make it, I want anything. And he's like, that's no help, Stacey, because that is what he would say. And I would say, well, what do we have that's ready to go? What's in the refrigerator? And he's like, well, I could go to the store and we could go shopping and get anything you wanted. I'm having this conversation just so you understand that I accidentally put it in upside down because I was distracted. Now I bring over my machine. And he's saying, well, we could order in. And I'm like, order in? Do you know how expensive that is right now? We can't order in. And I said, we could do sandwiches cheaper. And and I'm rolling it through and rolling it through and rolling it through. And then I get to the end and I realize, oh my gosh, I put it in backwards. Are you kidding me? So I have a beautiful emboss on white paper, or I have a deboss. A deboss on the opulent. And you're like, a deboss? Yes, all the flower petals are sunk down in, not raised. It is every bit as beautiful as an emboss. Now I can see that this cut through just a little bit on some of my flowers. The embossing folder cut through. And you're like, oh, it cut through on my paper. Let me tell you, embossing folders are molded plastic. It's put into a mold, it's injected with plastic, and then they're popped out. That's how an embossing folder is made. So these edges can sometimes be sharper than what you're expecting. The easiest way, if your embossing folders are brand new, easiest way to get rid of that is to take some inexpensive paper, whatever you've got, put it into your embossing folder, and then roll it through several times. Some people even take lightweight chipboard. Easiest way to get rid of your embossing folder from cutting through your paper is to send it through. Ooh, tight, because I have two pieces. I might have to take one piece out. Yep, too tight with two pieces. So I'm just going to send it through with some inexpensive paper that I don't care about. And I'm going to roll it, roll it, roll it. And I'm going to bring it back, bring it back, bring it back. And then I'm going to roll it, roll it, roll it. You have to round down some of the edges. An embossing folder is like a good cast iron skillet. It gets better the longer you use it. So all I'm trying to do is round down some of the sharp edges, because it's plastic, so that it doesn't cut through. And the more I use it, the better it will be. So I did this one by accident because Mr. SMS was asking what I wanted for dinner, and instead of having it embossed, I accidentally did a deboss. Let's put the paper in, and this time let's do it with that beautiful matte finish face up. And that way you can see the difference. Apples to apples. Chomp, chomp, chomp going in first. I can see my writing is right here. I'm gonna send it on through. And out we go. So now I've got my embossed side, and you can see those flowers versus a debossed side. Flowers, all the petals are in, all the petals are up and out. And there's no right and there's no wrong. They both are perfect. They both look stunning. It gives you a mirror image because you've got your flower over here on this one, and the deboss, your flower is over here because you've reversed it. There's no right and there's no wrong. They're both absolutely lovely. And remember, I did it on the beautiful pearlized charcoal as well. And then it's up to you what you want to do with them. So let's say you don't want to use the stencil. Maybe you don't have time to use the stencil. You can absolutely grab your luster wax and just quickly and easily you could just, without necessarily using the stencil, but you won't be able to get all these fine details of the leaves and everything, but you could add just a little bit of your luster wax. Hit some of your flowers just to kind of bring them to life just a little bit. It won't do the detail that you would get once you have your stencil. But it will let you have some. So you have to decide, are you the type of person who wants perfection and you want that beautiful stenciled image over the top so you can color absolutely everything? Or are you okay with just coloring some of it? Now here, so I'm using my Hobby Gross tools because these fit in here beautifully. These have the dome top. And I can add just a little bit of color. You're not going to be able to do too much because you don't have that stencil. And you want to make sure that you don't go too far outside the lines. but you can do a little bit. Just to add just a little bit of color to it if you wanted. Your decision. This is the debossed one. Yeah. Not as well on the debossed because you don't have much raised for the color to grab onto. But here it's pretty. So then we could cut it on down. And cut this one on down. And now we've done it on opulent paper. And I could stamp. So let's see, the stamps that come with this are Happy Anniversary, Hello Beautiful, Thinking of You, Floral Symphony, Hello. So I could take that Happy Anniversary and on this one, grab my stencil and stamp tool. Here. Happy Anniversary right there. Close it up. And this time I'm going to use a metallic. So a Color Pad Pigment Metallic in Silver. Color Pad is Jacquard. It's a Jacquard product. And this is a metallic ink, so it's a pigment-based ink. That means it stays wet longer. It will take a little time to dry. It also means that you can throw clear embossing powder over the top of it. So let's see what I get. Happy Anniversary. Oh, that looks good. Wow, now it's going to take a second for it to dry. And me being me, I'm just going to stamp one more time. But that came out beautiful. Ooh, that came out beautiful. Happy Anniversary. Pull this off. Yes, we'll pull this off. I was thinking, am I going to use it again? I don't know. So Happy Anniversary in the metallic silver to match. How pretty is that, right? And then we could do maybe the glitter behind it. So it's going to take that a second to dry, so let's hope I don't smudge it. Time will tell. Some Stacey tape. Gentle, gentle, gentle. And some Stacey tape. So metallics have to be a pigment-based ink, or they will absorb into the paper, because that's what a dye-based ink does. A dye-based ink absorbs in, a pigment paper or a pigment ink sits on top. A permanent ink is like a Bic or a Sharpie marker or an alcohol ink. And that dries super fast, but it also absorbs into the paper. Metallics need to sit on top so they maintain that metallic look to them. Okay, down. What a beautiful anniversary card this would make. And then me being me, I would finish it on that beautiful matte paper. All the charcoal opulent. This is all charcoal opulent, and it really is just lovely. And that happy anniversary stamped like a dream. I'm trying to make sure that I should have done all my matting first and then stamped. But I'm a girl who goes with the flow, and we just do it and we go with it, and it is what it is. Back and back. And down. How pretty is that? And this, I just kind of rubbed the luster wax right on it. Just kind of went for it without using the stencil. Now, luster wax is a true wax-based product, which means my sponges are never going to get hard and icky. That means I'm never going to wash the sponge, and I'm just going to use this one on my silver for as long as my sponge will let me use it. But you don't have to worry about it getting hard and icky because it's not a water-based product. It is a true wax-based product. Isn't that lovely? Pretty, and that happy anniversary looks great in there. Let's see, where did I put my happy anniversary? So I did that one. What if I did one this way? That way you see both the, you know, I'm going to mat this first. I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. And I think I'm going to grab either that or that. Oh, I grab that. Or that. No, I think I like the... Or maybe I like them both. I think that might be the case. And let's just mat this one first, and then we'll stamp. Mat here. cut. And then I'm gonna mat here. And cut. And then I'll stamp on the landscape so you can see that they can be used both ways. So when I mat it, it doesn't matter if I'm matting it portrait-wise or landscape-wise. What matters is when I do the stamping. Okay, so I stamped this one with the happy anniversary vertically. Now I'm going to stamp this one, and I can do the happy anniversary again. We'll wipe it down, and I'll do it in black ink. And happy anniversary. Be right there. Let's see what we get. Oh, I smudged it. All right, we'll do it one more time. This time straight up and down. Bam, 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 bam. Better. Happy anniversary. And this feels like it's almost dry. But if I threw some embossing powder, clear embossing powder over the top, it'd be good. So I've done it in both now. So that was using opulent paper. So far we've used Reveals paper. And we've used opulent paper. Now we're going to go back to cardstock. Put this here, put that there. We're going to go back to cardstock. So let's grab our next set. And our next set is Petal Cascade. Petal Cascade. And for this, I'm going to use just cardstock. And let's see. Maybe we'll use the purple. I want to see what the purple luster wax looks like on the light purple versus the dark purple. Oh, that's good. that's good too. Stacey. Do I like it on the lighter or on the darker? So I'm just swatching it out and seeing which one I like better. You know what? I'm going to do it on both. I've got the paper. I can do it on both. So I'm going to run both of my purples through my embossing folder. I can trim it down just a little bit. I don't need so much. And I'm going to send it on through. And we'll do both of them. And that way we don't have to decide. Roll it on through. One done. It's amazing how a piece of plastic can turn paper into something absolutely extraordinary with hardly any time. I mean, it took no time, and yet it's absolutely extraordinary. It's beautiful. And then let's do the lighter shade. Because a girl's got to have options, right? And for my 5-second roll, if I have options, why not? Chomp, chomp, chomp. Hand hold and send it on through. Perfect. Beautiful. Done. All right, let's move these off to the side. And now what to do with them? Woo. I do think I am going to use my stencils this time. I think I'm going to bring out the stencils. Here's my stamp set. And the stencils are made, it's just a 2-layer stencil. And they just layer right over the top. And they mask what the other one does. So you can have stencil 1, stencil 2, and it'll tell you which way to go. So here's stencil 1. And stencil 2 is going to add in the rest of that detail. And you can choose to do just stencil 2, just stencil 1, or both of them. Now to use the stencils, I am going to use my stencil and stamp tool. And I've been using it as a stamp positioner so far, but now I'm going to use it as a stencil alignment tool. So I've got my sticky grid down and I've got my alignment tool right here. I don't need the lid right now because I'm not using it as a stamp positioner. My alignment tool, these 2 little nibs at the top of your tool, is what is meant to hold your alignment tool in place when you put it away. It's like your little storage unit right there. And the holes here correlate to the holes that hold the lid in place. And this allows you to move a stencil anywhere you want on your paper. The platform does not have lips anywhere around, so there's not a lip here to impede paper from keeping moving. So if you want to do a continuous stencil, if you were doing maybe a Tim Holtz continuous stencil, you can take it right on off the page. And if you want to use a 12 by 12 sheet of paper, you absolutely can, because there's nothing here causing you to stop. None of the three sides have a lip on it. Now, Sizzix has these little nibs here, which would work with any Sizzix stencil. However, these are Creative Expressions stencils, so we need to make sure that we get some holes so that we can put them on and lock them in place. Are you going to punch holes in your stencils? No, you are absolutely not going to punch holes in your stencils. You are going to take converter strips, 10 per set. When you buy a stencil and stamp tool with us, you get 10. We give them to you as a free gift. These converter strips are pieces of plastic that are made similarly to a stencil. It's almost the same stencil film. When you buy them, they have a little piece of liner over the top of this adhesive. You peel it off, and then you line your stencil right up to the top. Well, I guess I can put this up here. Line your stencil up to the top, and then add your converter strips. One, give a press so that that adhesive adheres to the Creative Expressions stencil, and then when you're ready, you can pull it up, and now you've added the little holes. But you don't have to leave it there. When you're done, you can pop it right on off. And at some point, if your sticky stops being sticky, you just take a piece of double-sided adhesive. And put it right over the double-sided adhesive that's not sticky anymore. And now all of a sudden, your converters work again. So I made my own little converter storage unit out of a piece of my blending mat from Woodware, because I can just line them on up, and because they're made pretty much out of the same material, they don't stick. I can pop them right off and the sticky's still sticky. So let's go ahead and let's line this one back up. And if I wanted to, I could do it this way. I could do it this way. It's just where you have room to add the converter. I absolutely could do it in a vertical orientation because I've got all of this room. Now I need to take my second one and make sure if I do that, that I have the same amount of room on the second one before I put it down. And I do. So instead of doing the top, which is usually most conventional, it's just what most people would do, you can put it anywhere as long as you've got room on all of your stencils. And then I'm going to grab my second one, and I'm going to line my second one right up with my first. I'm not even going to take that first stencil off. I'm going to line it right up so I can see that my corners all match. I think that looks pretty good. And then I grab my second. And that's how I add them, so I line them up. Down, down, press, press. And now my stencils should align. Okay, let's take the top one off. I want to make sure that they do. that one looks good. And then let's put my other one underneath and see if that aligns. I see this one going over that item right there. All right, we're gonna do the first one because I see these as going over. I might have to align them up individually. So if I put this here. Oh, did I do I did this one upside down. Stacey, I didn't pay attention. There says stencil 1. I did it upside down. Like, that's not lining up properly. Well, I would help if I looked and saw that. Yay, okay, good thing I checked. So we're gonna line this one right back up again. Bing, bang, boom. Actually, I can put this one down and align it to this one. Yeah, now it's not showing. Does this one say stencil? Stencil number 2. I'm going to do them individually. I just have a feeling. All right, there's my stencil number 1, and let's put my stencil underneath. I think I'm going to do this one. There we go. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so down. Oh, okay. Now the beautiful thing about this is that I can lift this stencil up again and again to look and see what I've done. Still don't think it's exactly where I want it to be. I can lift this stencil up and down. That's the beautiful thing about the Sizzix alignment tool, is that you can lift your stencil up and down and look and see what you've done to see if you're happy with it. So if I were to take some of my purple luster wax and make sure my stencils are clicked in and just add a little here, there, and everywhere. It's going to help make those flowers pop. Then I can lift up, I can see, I just wanted a little, not a lot. There's not a lot on here, but if I want a little bit more, I put it back down and I can add a little bit more. It's whatever is your liking. Okay, I think that's good. But I like that I can lift up and put back down and lift up and put back down. All right, now let's see about getting that second stencil all aligned, because that's where the detail really comes in. Yeah, see, I am nowhere near. That's where I'm supposed to be. All right, put it back down. Lay it back down. Still feel just a little off. All right, well, no guts, no glory. And this time we're going to use gold. That way we can really see it. No, that's not gold. There we go. So now I'm going to add a little bit of gold. And I can lift it up and look and see that I am getting just in the areas that I want. And then I can lay it back down. You would never want to do this if you were using magnets or tape. Getting it back down is going to be a little more complicated. It's doable. But with a stencil this detailed, having the tool just makes everything that much easier. And all I'm doing is giving a light dusting of gold luster wax. Just a light dusting of it. And it is a true wax-based product. It smells like orange oil. And all I want to do is add the detail in gold so you can see what I've added versus where I haven't. So none of that detail is popping out yet. It's all right here. And I could do that. I could take that off and show you, because then all I have to do is lay this right back down on top of it and I line up again. I would never have really the, I mean, I would try, but I don't know that I would have the chutzpah to lift up and show everybody, turn it around, lift up the whole platform if I was doing this with tape or magnets. It is a little bit more difficult. This just makes your life a little more easy. And anywhere I want to add a little more gold, I can go back and touch in and add a little bit more gold. But that detail is so pretty. Now, once I lift my paper, I have to be done. So once I take my paper off, I do have to be done. But it just adds such a pretty element to it. So pretty. In fact, I could even then take a little bit of gold, and without even, I could just put a little bit of gold right on some of the flowers. Just maybe in the centers. Okay, I think I'm going to be done with this one. And then I can trim it out. And mat it and really make it pop. But I would never be able to do all the leaves without having that stencil. Look at how beautiful is that. Now I'm going to take, and the easiest way to get the luster wax off is going to be a Mr. Clean eraser. I don't know if I have one here. I do not see a Mr. Clean eraser handy. But a Mr. Clean eraser will be the easiest way to get your luster wax off, because luster wax is meant to be permanent on plastic, glass, metal, paper, vellum. So I think I'm not going to worry about it. And I'm going to do this one, but I'm going to do this one in the reverse. So we did this one with the positive, the emboss. I think I'm going to do this one in the deboss. So I'm going to bring back over, I'm just going to bring back over my lid. And I'm just going to use it as part of my making space. So here, everything in this one is debossed down. I just flipped it over. Remember, we did both of these. And you can see the dramatic difference once you add some ink or some luster wax to it. But I want to do this one in the deboss. So I'm going to take, and before I even start, I'm going to go over the whole thing with my purple luster wax. I'm going to do purple luster wax everywhere. And I'm just going to go in and just start adding purple luster wax. And can you see what's happening? Already the debossed is coming through, is coming up. Already that debossed image is visible where I've added the purple luster wax. And I'm going over everything, almost making my paper have its own sheen. It's like I'm making a pearlized paper all on my own using the luster wax, because you're going to get that shimmer from that luster wax, but it's also acting as an agent to help that debossed, because now it's the embossing, it's not raised, it's set in. So when I go over my luster wax, it's not hitting all of the detail, because the detail is actually popped up on this side. If I had hit this side, it would be hitting the image and not the background paper. Be hitting the image. But all I did was flip my paper over, and it's going to give you a completely different look. That is equally as beautiful. Just want to make sure I go over far enough so when I cut it out, I want it all to have that beautiful sheen. Now, can I go in and do my stenciling on this as well? I can. I can take my stencils. Just remember, because this is backwards, now your stencil needs to be backwards. This was the way we used it the first time because we used the emboss. Now we're debossed and my design, it's in this orientation. So I have to pop this little thing off. Bring back my alignment tool. Put my paper down. Align it with my stencil. That looks pretty good. And then put my converter tool on. And now I should be able to pick it up, put it back down, so as long as you remember where you've put it over here. So here, I moved it this way, but obviously that doesn't line up well at all. Not at all. And if I had moved it this way, that doesn't line up well at all. You just have to figure out, oh, where did I start it? Oh yeah, look, it lines up right there perfectly. Now this is debossed, so all of the design is pushed down. It's not embossed, raised up, it's pushed down. So to take one of my little blending tools, it's going to have trouble getting in there because the blending tool is meant to hit things that are raised up. Raised up, hits it easy peasy. You saw that, hits it perfectly, easy peasy. Raised up, no problem. But now I'm debossed down. So I need to use something a little different. I need to use like a small little blending brush. So Studio Light sells these and it comes 3 to a package, a small, a medium, and a large. I use them with the luster wax. I don't clean them and I use them over and over again regardless of what color luster wax I'm using. The only thing I do to clean it out is every now and then I'll take a little bit of a baby wipe and clean it, or I'll blend it out on a piece of paper. But this allows me to grab some of my luster wax and go in and really get the detail. Make sure that I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be. Well, I'm gonna be as close as I'm gonna be is what I'm gonna be. And now I can go in. Because this little dome is gonna struggle to get down in, now I'm just gonna take my little brush, and it's not going to have any problem getting in there with all that detail. And when I'm done using my gold, I'll blend it out and then I'll use my next color. And because luster wax is not a water-based product, my brush never gets really, it never firms up, it's never not usable. If it was a water-based product, I would need to make sure that my brush is completely washed out. But this is wax. So I can grab this brush anytime I want to use it. And then when I lift up, all the detail is being done. All the detail. is being done with the luster wax. And I can get in there without any problem at all. So this is doing a debossed side. Well, you use these for a million different things. But it really is very handy if you want to get in there to get that fine detail where something like a foam sponge is struggling to press in. And with the 3 sizes, this is the medium size. The small, the medium, and the large. You have options. And all I'm doing is adding this gilding, this beautiful gold luster wax, which dries almost instantaneously. Luster wax does not take a long time to dry, and it is permanent once it's dry. So if you're using it on glass or plastic. Now on the plastic here, if I use a Mr. Clean eraser, that will get it off. You can use it on wood, metal, obviously paper. And I can lift up and I can see that that detail is really there. It's getting into all those nooks and all those crannies without making a mess. I could never do this if I didn't have the coordinating stencil. And I'm even using it backwards. I flipped everything. I flipped the entire switch on this stencil. I'm using the deboss side, not the emboss side. I'm using the reverse on the stencil so it fits. This was not the intended use, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't make magic happen. There's what manufacturers see, and then there's what we makers create. And usually they're a little different. So pretty. Now I could leave it like this because the flowers are the lighter color. But if I wanted to, I could pop this off and bring back my florals. And remember, I'm on the reverse. So I have to pop this off and flip this over and line them up. Pop that down. And then I could come through and just clean my brush out. Now you can use water with it, but I want to use this brush again. So I'm just going to clean it out. So that I can go right back in and grab some of my purple. And then I'm going to go back in and I'm going to grab some of my gold. And then I can lift it up and I can see if I'm happy with that. And I think I am. And it's oh so elegant. Now, once I pull my paper up, it's a lot harder to put everything back down, but I've pulled my paper. Now I can trim it out. And you have your choice. So I made my own shimmer paper. Do we like the positive? Or this is the negative. So the positive. Or the negative. They're both lovely, but this is all debossed down. When you run your hands, it's debossed. This is all embossed up. But they both look so good. And then I'm gonna take no, that's not the same color. That's a blue. Oh, look at it against that purple. Oh my gosh, that's gorgeous. That's more blue than it is the purple. Here's the purple. So the last one I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use a special luster wax, and I'm gonna do it on black paper. There's a luster wax that has an interference in it. And I think they call it rainbow, but let me mat these down. And then we're going to use black paper. So all I did is do the reverse for the mat. So this is my light paper, my light purple, my lavender. Let's bring my lid over. Wow, that's pretty. It is so elegant. And then we'll mat the other, and maybe we'll stamp. So I'm using all 4 of the embossing folders, and this one I used as a negative. So pretty. And then this one. Can you see how easy Creative Expressions has made it? By giving you everything that works together. And I'm so thankful that they added the stamps, because the stamps are the right size for these, and the font is beautiful. I should have cleaned this cut up a little bit before I did this, but that's okay. We're gonna go for it. Okay. Okay, and I do like it against that, so I'm going to do that. And then we'll stamp, and then we'll move on, because the last one is done on black. Ooh-wee, I trimmed this one out. Not so good. Oh, that's not even anywhere near. Can she get it up? That isn't anywhere near. We'll leave a little extra space and I'll trim it down. That was so bad. Oh my goodness gracious, that was awful. All right, let's see if I can make this any better. I needed to kind of clean it up before I started matting, but I didn't. So we're gonna just go for it, because that's what we do. We go for things. It's got kind of a wonky top and a wonky side. But I guess every now and then I'm a little wonky too. All right, let's back it up and let's just stamp. So with this one, let's see, I'm gonna grab Petal Cascade. Petal Cascade, okay. Oh, well, that's perfect there. We'll just do that one right there. I'm going to use the gold. Give a good little press. So I'm back to using it as a stamp positioner. Ooh, a little bit more. So one tool, multi-purpose. I think this should finish it off. Oh, perfect. I've got my thank you stamped in the gold, which is a pigment. And then let's bring this one over. And this is in the reverse. And let's see my love. Let's see if that's gonna fit in there on the horizontal. Oh yeah, look at that. And I'm gonna do this one in the black. So I'm gonna pick it up and I'm gonna stamp it in the black. Perfect. Beautiful. So now we've got my love. We've got thank you. We've got happy anniversary. We've got happy anniversary. So these two are the same. Vertical, horizontal, embossed, debossed. These two are the same, just on the vertical and the horizontal. These two are the same on the vertical and the horizontal. Absolutely perfect. All right. Let's do our very last one. And I'm going to use black paper for it. So I'm using today, this is smooth paper. So it's smooth cardstock. You get the black smooth, the ivory smooth, and the white smooth. You get 20 sheets of each. And that's what I've been working with today on the black. Black smooth. And I'm going to pull over the last embossing folder set we have to work with today. And it is called the Blossom Wreath. So just because, bride and groom, great friend, thanks, just a note. The stencil and the embossing folder. So let's see what we get when we emboss it. Paper in. Writing here. Bring over my machine. Remember, my sandwich is just a little bit different than what the base platform says, because we're not using a Sizzix embossing folder. So I know with my machine, it just takes my solo shim or my ace shim. I go chomp, chomp, chomp right on in. And then roll. And back. You don't have to go back if you don't want to. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I mean, it is absolutely beautiful. It really is just absolutely gorgeous. Now the stencil. My stencil and stamp tool. My converters. Ooh, where did I put them? I can take it off this one. So I'm going to do my flowers first. Stencil number 1, it says stencil number 1, you know that's the top piece. All I have to do is pop it down in place. And because I'm doing the embossed side, I can absolutely use my little daubers. Now I am going to use a luster wax that I think is called Rainbow. And it is a interference, which means it looks like this on the inside. But when you use it, it's pretty magical. So if I just pick up a little bit, and I go over my flowers. I want you to see the color. That you get. A little extra there. So instead of them being, I don't know what this color would be, kind of a creamy color, it actually gives them an iridescence. Look at how pretty are those, right? They're pretty amazing. Back on. And I just come in and add that color. And look at how beautiful it is. Now those aren't done. You barely can see there's flowers down there. But once you add that rainbow, it is magic. It works best on dark colors. So if you put this on a white, you're really not going to get anything out of it. You know, you'll have to twist and turn the paper to see the magic happen. But on dark colors, that's where it makes its most impact. That's where it says, holy smokes, look at me. I'm a little bit of magic happening here. So I add a little bit to all my flowers. Lift up if I'm happy. Then I'm gonna come in. Am I happy? I think I'm happy. All my flowers are done. Then I think I'm gonna come in with just a little bit of gold. Just a little bit of my gold. And because I'm using the emboss side, I can use my gold dauber. And I just want to add just a little bit. Oh my gosh, look at how amazing those look. Just by adding a little bit of gold in there, just a little bit. And then I can come in, pop off my adapter. Now some of you might want to have enough adapters for all of your stencils. I leave that entirely up to you. Let's put my alignment tool back down and let's line this back up. So stencil number 2, I can see it, it's right there. That way I know this is the top and stencil number 2. And then I'm just gonna kind of click it in place. I think that's pretty close. I'm going to do a little bit of it and then I'm going to lift it up and see if I've got the alignment right. Well, I'm going to try and see what happens. Lift it up. Yep, that looks about right. And it'll just line up every time you put it down, it's going to line back up. Now, do you have to have this stencil and stamp tool to do these? No, if I wanted, I could pop this off and either tape it in place. I just won't be able to lift it back up. There's the difference. Once I move it, see, I moved it when I did it. Once I move it, I can't lift it up to see what I'm doing. So having the tool, you're not just going to use it with this product, you're going to use it with all your stencils. And it doubles as a stamp positioner. And it really makes all the difference. Because then I can go in, lift, look, see what I've done, see where I'm going, see what I still have left to do. And if I want it darker, I come in and I lay it back down and I add more. Some things in crafting are for fun and they're, you know, a whimsy or a fad or a trend, and some things are a tool. And that's really what the stencil and stamp tool is, as is your embossing folders, your stamps, your dies. They're really meant to be looked at as a tool. And it just is so pretty, so lovely. And I love, love, love the rainbow. If I want to add a little more, I can come back in. Even without, I can just add a little bit more. And I love a little bit of gold. And you just start to play. But they give you that opportunity, having the stencil, the embossing folder, and then a stamp to go with. Just a note. Pop it up, grab my gold, and down I go. A little bit more. I'm so thankful that they added the stamps, because it would have left a void of what are we going to fill that area with when you want something that was meant to coordinate, that you know is going to be right every time you use it. These are so pretty. Now, I didn't even finish the stenciling. Didn't even finish my stenciling. Let's just hit some of the area. I'm not going to be able to do as nice of a job. I need to be super careful because I don't have the stencil, but I... super careful so I don't get it everywhere. I'm using a super light touch, but I think that's enough to finish it out so that you get the idea. It's beautiful with that rainbow on that black. Oh my gosh, it is a little bit of magic happening. It takes that weird ivory color that it looks like in the jar, and you're like, what did I buy this one for? And it changes it into spectacular. Wow. So lovely. So Creative Expressions. Creative Expressions has done these 4 sets. Put that over here so we finish it, because that one's beautiful. Creative Expressions has done 4 sets. And in the I Want It All bundle, you'll get all 4 sets. Other than that, everything else is sold all by itself, open stock. So if you want the stencil, it's there for you. If you want the embossing folder, it's there for you. And if you want the stamp. So if you want the 3, you just buy the 3. And if you only want the stamp, it's there for you. We have more embossing folders than we do the stamp and the stencil by quite a lot. We're fairly limited on the stamps and the stencils, but they really just make everything. They just finish it all off. And the I Want It All bundle retails for $140, $160, and it's on sale for $109.99. But that gets you every SKU to the collection. That gets all of it for you. And then we'll do the luster wax will be on sale. And we have exclusive colors of luster wax, but we'll put it all on sale for you. And the little daubers we'll have for you. And we are limited, but we will have the little brushes for you, the little blending brushes from Studio Light, and the sanding block, and the reveals paper, and the charcoal opulent. It'll all be there for you, along with the Sizzix Smooth in black, cream, and white. Black, ivory, and white. All of that's part of the YouTube Yummy sale. All of that's part of the Saturday with Stacey sale. So today we did a lot. We really did. We started way back when with just on reveals. Way back when with just on reveals. And then we moved to the opulent paper, where we did opulent, same embossing folder, just vertical and horizontal. Looks great. And then we did the negative and the positive, so debossed versus embossed. And then we went into so pretty with that rainbow luster wax on black. All right, let's see what we've got. So for samples, I have a ton of samples. So here's the debossed. That's all done in debossed. Isn't that pretty? And bride and groom, just out of cardstock. Honorary SMS girl Catherine did this one. And Christine Smith for Creative Expressions did this one. But then look at how they've taken them and just used pieces of them. Look at how beautiful is that. This one is by Sheila Walsh. It's beautiful, Sheila. Oh, and look at this one. Wow. And this one is also by Sheila Walsh. Beautiful, absolutely gorgeous. Oh, and here, look at this. By Christine Smith. Oh, Christine, this is absolutely stunning. Look at that. It's gorgeous. And then a happy birthday. Not sure by who, but I have a feeling this is one of the honorary SMS girls. Just keeping it simple. And then happy anniversary. This one's done by honorary SMS girl Patty. Look at how pretty they are. Just because, and again, just using a portion of the embossing folder. By Christine Smith. And on glitter paper with some alcohol ink by Mary, honorary SMS girl Mary. She just went in and painted with alcohol ink, probably markers. And thank you. Using the different elements of the embossing folder and cutting it down by Sheila Walsh. And it's your birthday by Siobhan Fayette. I'm thinking that's it, Siobhan Fayette. It's your birthday. And just a note. Oh, this is so lovely. Christine, this is beautiful. And happy birthday by Tracy. Lovely, Tracy, beautiful. And thank you by Sheila Walsh. Wow, you rocked it, girl. Oh, and this one is gorgeous. This one's beautiful by Siobhan. Wow, is that pretty? Holy smokes, that's beautiful. And here we have a simple thanks on Reveals paper. And we have a tag. And we have my love. Look at this. By Sheila. Oh, and another one in the negative, in the deboss. Love this. By Siobhan. Love this. Again, in the deboss. So fabulous. Not done yet. Here we've got, they've die cut them up by Siobhan. Love that she took it and die cut the circles out of it. And this one is so beautiful. This is by Christine. This is just lovely. Beautiful. Beautiful. And again, done in the deboss. I love the deboss. I love it as much as I love the emboss. This is by honorary SMS girl Gail. Fabulous. Up, and this is the combination one. So Gail was gonna throw this away because she wasn't happy with it, but then honorary SMS girl Catherine came in and said, no, let's finish it. And Catherine freehanded. I think it came out great. So this is a combination because one was saying, I don't like it. And the other said, no, we're going to finish it. And look at that. It's fabulous. Love it. Oh, dreamy. Sheila, wow. Look at, she's gone in and she's embossed and then she's painted over the top of the embossing with those vibrant colors. Oh, this is a beautiful bride and groom. Christine Smith, this is lovely. And then Hello Friend with the luster wax going on. This is Angie. Angie, beautiful. And then Hello Beautiful. Wow. All the different styles, all the different makes. Oh, just because this is Christine. Oh, it's just fabulous, Christine. Just taking that little snippet of the embossing folder. And then we have Happy Birthday. Now they freehanded and cut the embossing element out. And this is Angie D. Oh, Angie, way to go on this cutting skills, girlfriend. Well done, you. Oh my gosh. This is embossed. And then she went in and painted. Oh, wow. Sheila, wow. And then so sweet and so soft from Siobhan. And Just a Note. Those are the embossing elements. They freehanded them out. Just a Note by Catherine. Catherine, I love that. It's honorary SMS girl, Catherine. And Happy Birthday. This one is by Tracy. She's on the Creative Expressions design team. And Love by Sheila. Oh. And Thinking of You. Wow. And then another one done with alcohol markers by Catherine on glitter paper. Thinking alcohol, it could be my inks. She might have used the Stacey Park inks. And then Congratulations by Tracy. Ah, I love how they're die cutting them. And then a panel. This panel's stunning by Sheila. So she took it and she just did 3 panels, breaking it up. Wow. So Creative Expressions, really, these 4 sets are beautiful. But again, they are limited. Oh, let me see if I can get up. They are limited. Let's go back. So the embossing folders we have way more of. The stamps and the stencils, much more limited. And they're at a great price and they're brand new and everything works together and it just makes lovelies. It makes such pretties. So I am Stacey and this is scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Where will you find all of this product? Well, you might find it at several different places. I don't think that we have it first. I know that it's relatively new. It is new, but you may be able to find it at your local independent retail store, your independent mom and pop paper crafting store. Go visit them first. And then if not, if you don't have one, then come shop online. And if it happens that you shop with us, well, that's a wahoo kachoo. And if not, as long as you saw something that you like today and you find a great place to get it from, we encourage that. And if maybe this was just about learning a new technique or a trick or a tip, or learning what luster wax is or how you use a stencil, well, I'm glad you hung for today's class because the samples at the end were worth the price of admission. It was worth the whole thing just to see the samples at the end. Now, I will be back on Monday for our next Make It Monday event where I announce the next manufacturers to become part of the winter warehouse sale here at Scrapbooking Made Simple, where we have product at up to 90% off. In fact, a little bit more on some things. So if you are looking for a steal of a deal, you head over to our Make It Monday warehouse sale and you will see hundreds and hundreds of products at prices you will not find anywhere else. So you have your option, the latest and greatest from today, or things that are a little bit older that are at a value price. You pick and choose and make your heart happy. Until Monday, everybody have a super weekend. Thanks for hanging with me today. I really appreciate it. I'm Stacey. This is Scrapbooking Made Simple, scrapbookingmadesimple.com. Hit subscribe, hit like, and post a comment. Bye, everybody.